I've been asked to talk about women empowerment. I'm going to stick on to my topic. So women empowerment, do we really need it today? Is a question might arise in all our minds most of the time. For example, if you take my life, I think I've been one of the very privileged girls throughout my life, whether while I was studying or at home, in college, everywhere. I think I was very privileged, where I was empowered. I was always given an option to do what I wanted. I was never restricted saying, oh, you're a lady, oh, you're a girl, you can't do that. Never. In fact, the other way of looking at it is most of the time my brother used to get beaten up for my mistakes. So that is how empowered I was as a kid. In fact, even in college I think Smita ma'am didn't recognize me. I was her ex-student in Sharda Vidyalaya. So she would definitely know how empowered I was, because she and her entire faculty used to always focus on us a lot. So I had an amazing childhood, I had an amazing career, and in fact, till I kind of, even in Infosys, because you have most of your employees are women even in Infosys, so that gender bias or whatever, the distribution is very equally spread. So until I started preparing for my KS exam. So when you study for KS, fortunately or unfortunately, you have to read everything. So when I say everything, right from your art history to our geography to our economics to every little subject that comes under the planet, including science, by the way. So when I was reading history, especially our ancient medieval history, that's when I realized that efforts of women, and not just women, efforts of men like Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Phule, lot of them, Basavana or anybody, efforts of all these people, that effort, whatever efforts they have put in long back, the fruits we are enjoying the fruits today. So just now when she was emceeing, she just said that ಮಹಿಳೆಯರ ಸಬಲೀಕರಣ ಅಂದರೆ ಪುರುಷರ ಪತನ ಅಲ್ಲ. Exactly, these words were written in the history book, because in the ancient times people thought that if you educate a woman, then she's going to really make the entire family, make the male of the family as a slave. That's why they didn't want to educate her. That is why everything was restricted, and there are a lot of people who fought for it, and today we are really living this life. One other thing, when I say this, is everybody privileged like us? Trust me, no. Maybe in Mangalore or maybe in the urban limits of Mangalore, we are kind of privileged, but when I go back to the rulers, so once I joined this service, I think it's God's grace, I got to meet all streams of people, right from the rural India, rural Karnataka, rural Bantwal to the urban limits. So I see a clear difference. In fact, I have to tell you this. When I joined KS and we were put for training in ATI, that is Administrative Training Institute in Mysore, I had a roommate. She was also KS officer from my batch, so two of us had to share the room. So she was from Raichur. So first time when I interacted with her, so what I was saying is about this roommate of mine. So this girl comes from Raichur, and when I just heard about her struggles in life, I was really taken aback. Married when she was 7 years old, deprived of education, but she fought for her rights, went to a school which is like 30-40 kilometers away from her place of stay. When she was denied education, she fought for it, she went to school, and then she did distance education for her degree, and now she's a KS officer like me. So that's the journey. I think that is a struggle that most women undergo, which we don't. But if she is what she is today, trust me, it is because of her self-empowerment. She believed in herself. So when we say women empowerment, we can empower to the extent we can. But then that inner thing, that inner urge is what is going to take us miles apart. Otherwise, I don't think whatever we try and do, it's not going to really, the outcome is not going to be very fruitful. In fact, if you see Government of India or Government of Karnataka, all the schemes that we get is all women-centric. In fact, any of the pensions or any of the direct benefit transfers, it is always sent to the women's account. Whoever is the oldest woman of the household, we send it to her so that it is used rightly. But unfortunately what I see is because of the lack of education or because of lack of opportunity to speak up, even though the amount goes into the female account, it is utilized by somebody else. So I think our work should be around this area wherein we reach out to them. We reach out to them in terms of education, we empower them, we give them an opportunity to speak up. That is when we really empower every woman. So the power of education, the power of deciding, the power of wanting to do what you want to do, I think that will enable us a lot. In fact, according to me, just being in a post or being in some powerful post is definitely not the only way of getting empowered. Even if she is a homemaker, if she knows what she can do and if she has full freedom or full right on what she can do and not do, I think that itself is an empowerment. So if you go back, if I go back to my childhood, my mom was a working woman, but then everybody, including my grandmom, everybody used to tell her that, no, you teach her some household work, otherwise when she grows up, she will not be able to sustain or survive in her husband's house, etc. Those talks used to come. But my mom was an empowered woman because she said, no, I don't want my daughter to learn on this now. When it is her time, she will definitely learn it her own way. So I think that sort of empowerment also is kind of enough. It will take us a long way. So my request today is, I think we have been privileged that today we are here and we are speaking about these things. We should reach out. We should reach out to the extent that we can. In the medical profession, just now she was saying that there's a free medical camp, etc. for women. I think it's really commendable. And in fact, I would also like to congratulate CHEGDE for the wonderful work you guys are doing. Maybe when I wanted a free medical camp in my office, within a whisker, they said, okay, within a whisker, the entire camp was set up. Frankly speaking, for example, if I asked today, the next day morning, the entire setup was brought to my office, and I think Dr. Prerna was also part of it. So amazingly done, and the way you guys are working, I think it's really going to help the society at large. From our end, let's focus on issues that we come across on a daily basis. One request to all of you is, when you do something, when you do anything, for example, your education or your career, just give 100% of yourself. Let's do a quick exercise. It's a very small exercise. My only request is just lift your hands to the maximum extent you can. Just raise your hands to the maximum you can. Maximum you can. Maximum. Okay. So, my dear madam is, she just did the maximum she could at the first go. So most of us, what we do is, when we say maximum, we stretch out like this, and the next maximum we again try to extend ourselves a little bit. That's exactly what we do with our careers also. So we never put in 100%, whether it is education or work or anywhere. So my request is, when we say maximum, I think it is the maximum. That is the limit. Beyond that, there should not be any regrets that I didn't try. So thank you so much for having me here. I again wish you all a happy Women's Day. Thank you so much.